Welcome to Above and Beyond Creative Sewing. I'm Ron, and I'm going to talk to you about the Pfaff Hobbylock 2.5. It's a very basic serger for those of you who are looking for something a little lower price and just something you can get your serging done with. Let's talk about how to thread this machine. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the threads up here, and then I'm going to pull them through. In order to unthread your serger, you're going to hold your tail and then step on the pedal. We've got to close the little door there. And it pulls through, and we call that chaining off. And what it does is it brings the threads through the loopers and through the chain so that you can get them out. You can't just pull on the threads without running the machine because they kind of get caught around the loopers because they form in the loopers as it's stitched together. So what I'm going to do is thread the machine. The first thing I'm going to do is my upper looper. One thing about a standard serger, which includes just about every serger except for the air threading sergers by Hobbylock, Pfaff, and Bernina, if it's not an air threading serger, you need to thread in order. So the first thing I'm going to do is thread the upper looper thread. So I just get that thread through the hole and under the little metal piece there, lift the handle and come straight forward. Now I always hold here with my one hand and pull down, and I call that seating the tension because the threads have to go between the tension discs there, and I don't want to take a chance that they're sitting on the outsides of them. So this is the red thread, the upper looper. So I'm going to follow straight down. Then I'm going to go to my red thread guides, which is there. Then there's one over here, and I usually just hook it under and then pull up. But if you want to, you can use a tweezer. It comes with this nice little accessory box, which includes tweezers, an extra knife, the needle thread screwdriver, some oil, all that kind of stuff. So if you have a tweezer, you can get the thread under there and then pull up. But see, I don't see this really any easier than just kind of looping it under. And the next thread is that little loop right there. That's the guide just before the upper looper and then through the upper looper itself. So I'm just going to rotate the machine a little bit. And I'm going to go through that eye just like that. Now this is a point where I like to use a tweezer because it helps me to get under there. And I just pull it off to the side. If I catch on anything, I just undo it. So it's got to come straight without any tangles. Now if you look here on the face of the machine, there's a picture that shows you all of that. So you can also look in the book, but it's nice that it's right there for me. So now I'm going to do the lower looper. So after your upper looper, you have to do the lower looper. You have to thread in order. So if you should break the upper looper thread, that means that you need to rethread the lower looper. And the needles, you need to start all over again. So now I'm going to take the thread and come straight down. I'm going to seat it in the tension, come into that guide there, and now I'm following the yellow path. So I go into yellow there. I go into yellow down here. I get those both at once usually and just pull up like that. Then there's a yellow guide over here, and this one, let's get it in there. I'm going to lower the foot because that's going to engage my tension, which will make it a little easier for me to have something to pull against. So if you look here on the picture, it says to do A, B, and C. So what that means is from this guide, you're going to do A first, which means you're going to do the eye of the looper first. So we go into the eye of the looper. I'm just going to rotate the machine a little bit so that I have a little gap behind the eye there. Grab it with my tweezer. Then I'm going to put it in B. So the B means just take it and put it behind this little metal thing right there, which is pictured over here. And then C means to push the lever. So this is the lever. I'm going to push it. It carries the thread to the back and hooks it into the lower looper. So now I have those two threads done. Now I'm going to do the needles. So now these threads have to go under the foot, but I like to wait and do it all at once. So I'm going to keep going. I just rearranged the looper so that the needles are clear. I'm going to thread all of them, then I'm going to bring all the threads at once to save myself a little bit of time. So now I'm going to do the right needle. I do the right needle out of habit because on these older machines I like to work inside to outside, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how I remember the right threading order. But you actually could do the left needle first and then the right needle. The order of those does not matter. But once you get in a habit, you tend to stick with it. Go through the eye of the needle there. Now notice I use two hands to thread that thread. If you use one hand, as you push your wrist forward, the mechanics of your wrist make it twist and you tend to miss the hole. By taking two fingers, I can go straight in. It also makes it nice and stubby so I can push it through. But the machine comes with a needle threader. So on this next thread, I'm going to show you how to use that. So thread the left needle, which is the last needle. I seat it in the tension. I come up here over the top. This time I go to the left side instead of the right side. Get it in that guide. And now I'm going to use the needle threader that comes with the machine. This nifty little thing here. It's got a little like mark on it there. That's the top. And that way when this pushes back, that little wire will be exposed. So the way you do this is you do not put the thread on the threader. You put the thread as a T in front of the needle. You take the threader with that little notch facing up and you push it in toward the middle of the needle so that you find that long groove in the needle. And you see it just slides up and down. And when I slide down a little bit, I'll find the hole, then I push. If you try to get it right through the hole in one shot, you won't make it. Then I can take this little loop on the back here and grab that thread and pull it through. Okay, so that's how that needle threader works. Now, I got all four threads. I'm going to raise the foot, and I'm going to bring those threads in front of the foot. But if I do this, it's going to cut on the knife. So all I do is lift it, all four of them. Come on, little blue thread. All four of them right around like that, so they're all under the foot at once. I find that much easier than trying to get it from the back and then doing them one at a time to pull through. I find that very cumbersome. The last thing on this machine is I have a lever here. R is for roll, N is for normal. So if I wanted to do rolled hem, I would just pull that back. But we're doing a regular 4-thread overlock, so I'm going to leave it on normal. I'm going to close my little door. On the side here, I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G for tensions. So regular surging is on tension A, so I just put it on tension A. And what that does is it clicks all of those in position. So if you look at the tensions, I can adjust them, but they may have gotten hit just by my hand. So I just click off of A and click back onto A, and then I know that it's adjusted properly and reset. And since this is a seaming stitch, I'm going to use 2 layers of fabric. I use my thumb to get my fabric under there and step on the pedal. Now I like to chain off, and then in the back of the machine there's a cutter that I could use, but I prefer to come around the front and just hit the knife there and let it cut off. And there's my beautiful 4-thread overlock. So that's the Pfaff Hobbylock 2.5 4-thread serger. It does 2-thread, 3-thread, and 4-thread serging. So it has some decorative stitches. It is a good machine. It works well. It's not as easy as some of the others that we have, but I'd recommend you come in and try this. We can try some air threading sergers, and you can pick what's really great for you. Thank you very much for watching me, and I look forward to seeing you soon in the store.